All right, welcome to another episode of CAS Minute, where today we're in part 2 of a 5-part series on how to build an effective go-to-market strategy for your CAS firm. In the first step, we talked about identifying the right audience, how to build out a user persona, how to understand what details go into that in order to now move forward in creating a value proposition and messaging. So once we've identified that buyer or user persona, we've identified their pain points and then how our service solves those problems, now we can start to create that value proposition in order to bake into your website, your marketing materials in conversations with clients or prospective clients. So we want to think about this as a matrix where on the left-hand side, we're walking through the various stakeholders in the buying process and or stakeholders that will play a part in your role in working with them. Generally, we want to think about this as the key stakeholders. It may be the CEO, COO, an operations manager, things like that, and identify very clearly what are the pain points that exist in each of those respective areas. Maybe it's a lack of confidence in the numbers because there's a lack of consistency and comparability. Maybe it's timeliness. We don't have financials on time in order to deliver to our investors. Or perhaps it's an element of we just don't have enough data to understand how to make decisions for the business. Our reporting isn't aligned with our business model, our industry, and we're starting to take steps backwards because we just don't have clarity in the business to make quality financial decisions. It could be an element of, hey, we've got a really thin budget. We're just really challenged with our current provider, and we just really need a more cost-effective solution. All of these pain points come in at different levels for each person in the buying process, for each stakeholder in the business. One of the elements that you really need to be aware of is in each of these conversations with prospects, as you're building out a value proposition, there's always going to be a gatekeeper. The gatekeeper is going to be the point of resistance to challenge how and why they shouldn't bring on this new service, this new cost. And so you need to understand not only how to sell effectively in a positive manner to the buyer persona, but also to the gatekeeper too. Hey, what are the security vulnerabilities that come with bringing on a new CAS partner? What kind of tools will they be using? How will we ensure that we get the ROI from working with a partner like this? So there'll be somebody that's coming into the process challenging your value proposition. So you also need to be aware of how to derive value and communicate value to each individual in the sales process. So if we look at those pain points, we want to then have a corresponding value or benefit that addresses those pain points. Maybe it's something like, our reporting is a bit more specific to your industry. We're able to align how you operate to your future state and provide you with metrics along that journey at the right points in time in which you need them. Maybe it's a technology forward approach where you say, hey, we will set you up for scalability and we will help you understand how to build something internally in your back office that can take you to the next level. Or maybe it's just a matter of freeing up your time. One of the most common value props we see in the CAS space is peace of mind or get your time back and focus on other areas of the business. And I think they're fine. I don't believe that they're true value propositions because ultimately any service provider along the way should be doing some element of those two things. And so you want to identify more clear pain points for your buyer persona to differentiate yourself in the market. So once we've identified what the pain points are, now we need to translate that to messaging. And so if we look at things like, oh, well, we've got poor data quality from our current provider. Maybe your value is, here's how and why our improved process and deliverable to you will improve that data quality. So then the messaging may be something to the effect of, let's clean up your data to allow you to make better decisions and automation within those decisions moving forward. When you think about the elements of poor data quality and the ability to operate effectively with good data, and then layering on an element of automation with that, you develop a little bit of intrigue while also helping solve and communicate the value prop to that pain point. So there's an example of how to construct and think about a value matrix and deciding on your value proposition. Ultimately, the 3 elements here are identifying the various stakeholders in the process, the pain points, the value that you're driving back to fight those pain points, and then translating that to a message that hits directly to that buyer persona. So that's part 2 of a 5-part series on building a go-to-market strategy for your CAS firm. And next, we're going to be talking about deciding on a sales and pricing strategy. Till next time.